I'm tackling something I've never tried before. Hello, my name is Celia. If you have been here before, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. In today's video, I am tackling a makeover unlike anything I have ever done before, and I'm really nervous about it, but also excited to get started. I have been making my interior design and home decorating videos here on YouTube for a while, and I feel really good about them. However, I have wanted to continue to push myself beyond the boundaries that I have kind of set for myself. How can anyone expect to grow if they don't push themselves in some way, make ourselves uncomfortable? And that is what I am attempting to do now. This apartment that we're in now is so much larger than the one we were in before, and you know, it feels a little intimidating for me to do spaces in my own home that I have to live with. I am taking virtual design clients. You can check out all of the information and book a consultation on the website down in the description. That I haven't really tackled before. The dining room is really the main room that I'm speaking of, because that's where we're starting today. The dining room has been one of the main spaces causing me a lot of anxiety, and that has been very intimidating. I found a few pieces that I absolutely loved, but what I realized is that those pieces didn't necessarily speak to each other. So I had to figure out a way to marry those things. Because I have discovered a love for thrifting, I have wanted to force myself to reimagine old things in new ways. It's sustainable and often more pocket friendly when you have a new large space that needs to be furnished. I started that with some lamps on a small scale. If you haven't watched that video, you can. I'll link it here and down in the description. But today, I'm tackling a bigger project. This cabinet is one that I picked up earlier this year at a secondhand furniture resale shop. I saw it, loved it, knew that I had to have it. I knew that I wanted to make a change to it. I just did not know what that change was. And so it has sat for months while I was super intimidated to try and do anything to what is essentially a vintage piece of furniture. I'm conquering my fears and attacking this cabinet. It is not perfect. It has some things about it that I don't like, but I'm gonna honor it as much as I can and also make it fit into my home the best that I can, while also trying not to completely mess it up. But I'm really nervous because I've never refinished a piece of vintage furniture, and I really have no idea what I'm doing. I'm making it up as I go along. So here's the cabinet. I picked it because it closes, which is helpful when you have a small child. And I thought something that closes, it doesn't lock. But something that closes is better than just a bar cart or a bar things open and out. I could also display my pretty drinkware, and it was easily accessible for when we entertain. So there are a couple of challenges with this cabinet. It screams 80s in a way that I don't necessarily love. I don't love the mirrored back, so I want to make a change there, but still keep the mirrored back in case I ever change my mind. There's a lot of glass, both inside the cabinet and on the cabinet itself. Because I plan to paint, I have to sand, and I've never sanded something that was quite so fragile, including taking all of my fragile things out and keeping the cabinet, which is also fragile, intact. There's a lot of stuff crammed in here. I'm a collector and I don't like parting with my stuff. I have to do some editing, which I'm not very good at, so that this space is actually pretty and functional. Like I said, for people coming over, I want them to be able to open it up, grab a drink, grab a glass. So those are some challenges that I'm looking at, but hopefully we come out on the other side of this video with a pretty, still intact, matching my vision, styled well cabinet. Okay, now that I've explained to you all of the concerns, why I love it, let's talk about the plan. So I've said in a couple videos that I'm having a love affair with red, and that continues. And I was super inspired by these images of storage spaces with this red and blue color combination. Something in this space needed some color to help marry the different elements together, and I decided that with the curve on the fronts of these cabinet doors that this was the thing to do it. So you guys might have noticed the paint swatches on the side. I have been trying to decide on a paint color. None of these are it, by the way, but just wanted to address them in case you wonder what they are. Okay, we have the cabinet emptied and we are ready to sand. There are a lot of small, shallow surfaces, so we're gonna have to go in by hand with some sandpaper. And then for other surfaces, we'll be able to use a sander. We've been hand sanding. There's a lot of small surfaces because of the detail, and it's crushing my spirit. So we're gonna switch to
Celia's gonna switch.
The electric sander just to see what that does. And then we'll probably have to come back and hit some more of those more intricate surfaces, but I need a break. Never used an actual power tool before, and this sander is going to be the first time that I do that. And I'm nervous. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just gonna hope for the best. I did it. We did it. It's there's some details on this side that still have to be sanded, but we used the sander to do all of the, oh wait, no. Did we do this side?
No.
No.
Hello. Celia's feeling a little bit under the weather, so I'm filling in for her. I'm Sean. I'm Celia's partner. If you see me before, hello. What did you say, Celia? Today, we are going to prime this bad boy. So as you can probably see, there's a lot of small, intricate ledges, I don't know, the indentations around the framing of the windows, and even down here where the doorknobs are. Doorknobs? Sure. Doorknobs it is. And then you have like this area here with the detail. So what we're going to do is we're going to use smaller brushes there to get in those little ridges, and then use the larger foam roller to do the rest of the cabinet. So let's get to it. The primer that we're using is Zinsser Bullseye 123 primer. If you're wondering what happened to Celia, you need to ask our son. See, he's like the Andromeda strain. Brought in some stomach flu and has essentially crippled this household. All of this stuff about customizing furniture, it's all brand new for all of us. And I think that when you try something new and you do all this like thinking and research on it, you expect that when you do it, it's going to come out perfect. Just the way you envision it in your head. 99% of the time, that's not the case. And that's okay. Because I am a believer that lessons don't come out of success. Okay, we are finally ready to roll. Got a 4-inch foam roller. Gonna pour some more primer into the tray and get the roll in. Hopefully this won't take as long as the getting the small intricate details. That took about 2 hours. All right, so last night sanded it, primed it, put on a second coat, and this morning Celia was like, "That's not good enough." So we had to prime and sand it again. No, I mean sand it again. We're not priming it again. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. Remember, if you believe, you can achieve, okay? And I believe that Celia will get better. And here she is, everybody. Welcome back.
I'm back. Day one, I was feeling poorly. It was a lot of work. I mean, I anticipated it being a lot, but it was a little bit more than I thought. So I did get I got a little sad. Sean did a great job without me while I was down, and I'm ready to jump back in. So I went to our local hardware store that actually sells Benjamin Moore paint, which is the colors that I was using for this, but was trying to color match them at Home Depot. The nice lady at our local place suggested that I do a tinted primer. It's an eggshell finish of a different paint. It's tinted to the color that we're going to use, but the finish is different and the paint is different. So that I can see if we even need to cover up the glass, or does it reflect the red enough to just leave it as is. Like, do I want to put that board there? And because Benjamin Moore Advanced, which is what we're going to use, is a bit more of an expensive paint, this would ensure that the quart that I got of that paint would go a little bit further. We would have to do less coats. So we're going to start with this on the inside and adjust from there. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Look at that. Ooh. Blood red. Red. Stop. This red is called Heritage Red by Benjamin Moore, and I wanted something, a really deep, dark, capital R, like red, and I really think this color is it. It's a little scary going on, but in the end, I think I really like it. First coat of primer is done. I'm having a hard time getting a full visual because of all of the tape. I want to rip the tape off, but this is just primer. Still debating whether we're going to do this back panel. And trust the creative process. So I'm feeling excellently about this primer thing that the lady suggested. I will now always do that. We've got our regular paint. This is the Advanced line from Benjamin Moore. I've got a Virgin-ish paint pan, and I feel like maybe only a coat and we might be okay. Okay, they look very different actually. Like those look like very different colors, but I'm gonna trust her that that it's the same and that it's just the finish. First coat of semi-gloss red is done. I'm loving the shininess, but I don't know if you guys can tell, that thing is still very streaky. However, the color coverage is pretty good considering we did that layer of primer, so I am glad that we did that. Still undecided on whether I'm going to put that board across the back. But yeah. We're gonna jump in and do another coat, and hopefully that coat is the one that, you know, last one. ready to stop doing this. We're ready to move on to the outside. The inside is not perfect. We'll have to go back and do some touch-ups. But in the spirit of moving forward, pushing forward, this real scary part is upon us, and that is the intricacies of the doors on the outside. But in order to finish, we've got to keep moving. So today, outside. This is the paint color that's going on the outside. I toyed with the idea of returning it as well and just going with a true Benjamin Moore color, but I figure I already have it. Going out into the world would take up more time, and really I just want to get to it. So I have lots of paint. If it takes lots of coats, that's okay. The color is called Nova Scotia Blue. If you'll remember from my inspiration, blue outer, red inner. I've saran wrapped over one of my mostly dry paint trays, so I'm ready to go. This is hard to shake. Ugh. Here's our blue. Is that story? I'm excited. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. My plan is to do kind of thin, even layers to avoid clumpy paint. So that's how I'm not really focused on that much coverage on this first one. Just trying to get some paint on there and avoid drips and clumps. I moved to the inside and started taping and painting the door's inside surface so that when you close the door, this, you know, you'll always see a little bit here on both sides, as well as this surface of the door, so that when the doors are closed, it is blue, as well as across the top here. I'm happy to report that the blue is going a lot easier than the red. It's mostly because it's just a lighter color, and the red just needs more coats, needs to dry longer before you can layer on top of it. So you'll see I did one last coat. Oh, is that a drip? Oh, that's water. I did one last coat on the main surfaces, but in the corners I did not, because I needed it to dry. So I'll have to go back and get those corners and like the details to get that last solid red on them. But the like main surfaces are looking really good now that they've had a chance to dry. I started off this video by saying I wanted to push myself, make myself uncomfortable, and not be afraid to make mistakes. Well, I've made a mistake. I've made a mistake with this blue. I hate it. I've spent all day painting the outside, sides, insides, like all the surfaces with this blue. And I stepped back and said, oh no, I hate it. This was supposed to be, like this week's video was a cabinet makeover. We were moving on to the rest of the dining room. Not the case, no. It's not done. It's not done. I need touch-ups. I need to scrape some paint, and I need to repaint the entire outside of the cabinet. So thank you guys for joining me on this journey of mistakes and time wasting. I've just wallowed in mango boba tea for 20 minutes feeling sorry for myself. Next week, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna pick myself up and try again. So thank you for watching. Please feel free to leave all your ridicule or helpful comments, depends on what kind of person you are, down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. We're doing Vlogmas, and we'll see you in the next one.